Hello everybody and welcome to the first Wars of the Roses game of 2022. This is going to be an ongoing game of the feud between Montague and Suffolk, or between myself and Robin. And we've gone with something a little bit different today. So as you can see, we've got a very built up board. So following the last battle report where Montague had finished removing resources away from East Anglia and Suffolk tried to stop him, we have decided that it makes sense that the higher powers that be would suggest that these two have some peace talks and try and stabilise things a little bit. So they have decided to hold peace talks in Cambridge, which ironically is where we are. And up on the screen now, you'll see a map of Cambridge from about 1350. We're obviously playing this about 110, 120 years later. But we're using this as a basis for the battlefield that we've created today. So on the map, you'll see we have the Griffin Inn. And that is what we have just here. So we have the lovely inn model there, which has been made by Robin. Well, it's actually called, what have you called it? The Twig and Berries. The Twig and Berries, but today it's the Griffin. And this is where the peace talks or the negotiations or agreements are taking place between Delapole and John Neville. And they've brought some men along to assist them while the rest of their armies wait outside. So we're on the outskirts of Cambridge. The main city of Cambridge is off this way to the east, across the River Cam here. This bridge in real life is stone, but I don't have a stone bridge to put on there. And Montague's territory is this way to the west. So we've got a very built up board. So we've had to basically create some rules for city fighting, or at least some urban fighting, based on the rules that are already in place for Hail Caesar for the use of buildings. So we'll roll through those, we'll roll through what we've got army wise and what the objectives are, and then we'll just get into it. It's got a feeling this one's going to be very bloody. Okay, so as we've said, the two commanders are basically having discussions in the Griffin. One of them, I don't know, insults the other's mother, or Montague says something about the livestock in East Anglia, or something along those lines, and swords are drawn, and everything has gone to pot. So to begin the game, we'll be basically rolling to see who goes first, but also to see kind of where deployment starts. Whoever rolls the highest has the option of either deploying their commander in this zone where the Griffin Inn is, along with one of their bodies of troops, or retreating one zone away. So let's just quickly talk about zones. So we've divided all of the houses and the town into basically different zones, not including the roads. All of the zones on the board can hold one friendly unit of troops or two small units of friendly troops. An enemy can move in and then you have a fight. The exceptions to this are the yard of the Griffin Inn, which can hold two, and the chapel over here, which can also hold two. So areas like this, over here, and over the back where the small holdings are, all just hold one. Now, much like our other games, if you wish to move from one zone to another, it just takes one successful order. When a unit is in a zone, you're occupying the entire zone. You've got men in the house, you've got men at the walls. It's a bit more abstract than just drawing straight line of sight. All of the zones count as being built up for the sake of shooting modifiers. However, we're not using cover bonuses in hand-to-hand combat, because it's going to have men sort of jumping in and out of windows, hitting each other on the head with stools, and just generally hacking each other apart. The only thing that doesn't have any blocking is the roads, and the roads count as intervening zones. So if I wanted to move from this zone here into the courtyard of the inn, I would need two orders, one to move onto the road and then one off of the road. If you're traveling along the roads, then it'll be normal orders and movement. And as soon as you're adjacent to a zone, you pass an order and then you can move into it. For line of sight and shooting, basically you can shoot into an adjacent zone, but not across it. So a unit that is in this zone here can fire into this zone here. So you fire one zone across, which is the road, and then because that's clear, you can go one zone into this area here. Units in this building, or this zone rather, can shoot at people in this zone. However, they wouldn't be able to fire at another zone over. Even though you might be able to see the figures there, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And for the game, that's how we're going to play it. If it turns out it doesn't work, then we'll rethink things. So you're watching a battle report as we're trying out a few new rules or ideas. So anything that works, we'll put into an update the next time I update the army list. We're using the army list that we've been using before, which are available at the link below. In terms of command, now command ranges, rather than just doing the normal 12 inches for command and then -1, -2 for every 12 increment after that, what we're saying is the commander can give orders to units in his zone or any adjacent zone without modifier, and every zone afterwards is -1. So if I have Montague and he's next to this well, anyone who's on this road in this zone here or in this zone here will receive orders without modifier. Once you get over into this road, it'll be -1. If they're in a chapel, it will be -2. Just to, you know, look at the sort of represent the chaos of jumping in and out of buildings and people trying to relay messages properly and not actually necessarily being able to see your commander and their flags and what they want to do. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to be playing for 6 turns. The victory conditions are basically very simple. We're going to do 1 victory point for shaken units, 2 victory points for units that are routed or destroyed, and 5 victory points for any enemy leader that is captured or killed. Now, if we do get the result of being captured, Robin came up with a really good idea, which is the capturing unit effectively has to downgrade a size and sacrifice a base of men. So if you've seen our battle reports before, you'll know that most of our units are 3 bases strong. If they capture someone, then they have to downgrade to a small unit while men escort them to the rear, basically, or while there's men guarding them behind the main body of troops. So it should be a bit of fun. Yeah, we've just set up this board, which is a combination of my buildings, Robin's buildings, and just a bit of abstract interpretation of a historical map. So there we go. So I think we'll kick things off. We need to find out who is going to be taking the deployment first, and then we'll get set up and I'll roll through the forces. So leading my troops, we have John Neville, the 1st Marquis Montague, former Earl of Northumberland. He has a strategy rating of 8, a combat bonus of +4, and his special rule, as it has been for the last 2 games, is that he hates the Percys, but as there's no Percys on the board, that's not going to come into play. Along with him, we have the Bastard of Falkenberg, who I still haven't written the full rules for yet, but basically he has a strategy rating of 8, a combat bonus of +2, and he gets to bring along a unit of Calais veterans with him because he was a bit of a pirate and he spent a lot of time over in Calais. Now, for the sakes of this battle, because we, to sort of keep things fairly even, just switched around the force points a little bit, which is that my John Neville is only bringing 3 force points of troops with him, but Falkenberg is going to have 6. So the majority of the army will be deployed beyond the reaches of the town. Over on the East Anglian side of things, there is John de la Pole, the 2nd Duke of Suffolk, strategy rating 8, combat bonus of +2. And his role was he's a loyal Yorkist. Again, as the brother-in-law of Richard IV, he supported the regime, but he was never part of the inner circle. I get the kind of impression that Edward kind of, I don't know, liked him because he was his brother-in-law, and that's about it. But basically, Suffolk may designate one of his units in his division to receive the elite 5+ rule. Along with him, we have the Earl of Essex, and he has a strategy rating of 8, a combat rating of +2, and we still haven't come up with any exact rules to him. So he's also got the loyal Yorkist rule, which he was. So he can also designate a unit to become elite 5+. So it's going to be an interesting and bloody one. For deployment, after we've deployed our initial forces, the one leader will be one commander will be occupying this area with at least 1 unit. The opponent has to deploy at least 1 zone away with 1 unit, and then all other units in their division have to be placed within 2 zones of them. The rest of the armies will be deployed basically beyond the reaches of the city in reserve. My forces can enter from the west from any of the 4 points along the roads here, and Suffolk's forces, Robin's forces, can enter down this track, across the bridge over the cam, or this track over here. So I'm hoping it's going to get quite bloody in the middle of the table. That's it. I think the first thing we need to do is just roll to see basically who owns the Griffin, really. 3. I think I will take the Griffin, so Montague. So I'll pop him down there now. There he is, and you can select basically one of the adjacent zones, ignoring the road, to pop. So why don't you pop him in the church, and then I can bring my men in. He's retreated over there as sort of brilliant. Right, well, we'll get everything deployed, and then we'll roll to see who's going first, and we'll get into turn 1. Okay, so we're deployed. In the centre here, we have Neville. Montague, he is in the yard of the Griffin. With him, he has Sir Geoffrey Gate and his men-at-arms, his foot knights. Over here, he has another unit of foot knights, Henry Neville, who's sneaking around through the gardens over there. And then down here, we have just one of his household units of Bill and Bow that have taken position on the other side of the road in the alleyway. The Duke of Suffolk, who basically swords were drawn and he ran away bravely out of the window, and he's taken up position right next to Montague here with his very loyal men-at-arms unit. If you watch the last battle report, these are the ones that walked through half my army, and Robin has chosen to give them the elite 5+ status. What have we got over here behind?
2 units of Bill and Bow.
So a unit of Bill and Bow behind that zone there, and then another unit of Bill and Bow in the small holding out there. So we've both got 3 units on the table. We can start calling our reserves from turn 1, so you can start flooding in and moving on to the table. Remember, this is 6 turns, and now we're going to roll to see who gets turn 1. Whoa! Do you know what? Roll it again, because if Ken sees this, I'm going to get told off.
There we go.
All right, so anyway, so brilliant. All right, so first turn for me. Choose to go first or second. I think I'm going to choose to go first. Okay, so I did manage to get quite a few things moving. I started with the Bastard of Falkenberg. He ordered in his Calais veterans, who I'm trying to send round the backs of the houses over here. He then ordered Sir John Constable to start marching down the road to offer support to his cousin Montague over there. He's ordered Sir James Harrington to take position on the crossroads. And I did try to order on some crossbowmen to come in from over here, but I failed, and because he's too far away from Montague and they can't have line of sight, he's not getting the reroll. Montague has taken full advantage of the fact that Henry Neville was adjacent to him, and his cousin Henry Neville has charged Suffolk in this area here. However, Suffolk will obviously be offering his combat bonus there, so we could be into an early capture, but then I've got to hold on to him for the rest of the game. Down here, Montague has just ordered some of his household troops just to move up and take position here, because we could have some Suffolk reinforcements coming in from here or across the bridge, and they should be able to just maybe send in a few shots. So we're just into combat in turn 1 for a change. So I have charged with my unit of men-at-arms, so I have a clash value of 7 dice. I charged in, so I'm going to be hitting on 3s. Robin has a small unit of men-at-arms who have a clash of 5, but he has Suffolk in there, who puts that up to 7 as well, so he's hitting on 4s. So I've got 7 dice hitting on 3s, and Robin has 7 dice hitting on 4s. So 7 attacks needing 3s, and I can re-roll 1 for tough fighters. See, not a single 6. Also not a single miss. So that's 7 hits. I'm needing 4s to hit. And you can re-roll 1 for tough fighter. 4. Okay. I need 4 saves of 4. Rerolling 1 for stubborn. And I'll reroll that one. Okay, so I've taken 1 casualty. You need 7 saves of 4, rerolling 1 for stubborn. Okay, so you've taken 3 casualties, and we then need to find out what has happened to Suffolk. Okay, so to find out what's happened to the commander in combat, we're going to use the standard rules on page 83 of Hail Caesar. So the standard rule, first of all, is you roll 2d6 and add their combat rating, and if it's over 12, something's happened to him. 10, 11, 12, something's happened to him. He's got +2. So now we have a d6 on this chart here, which is 0. So roll a d6, you just don't want to roll a 1. 4. He has taken a light wound. The commander has taken a flesh wound or a glancing blow. Reduced a combat bonus by -1. The commander then fights on. If a commander's bonus is ever reduced to 0, they are killed. So he survived. He's now only offering a +1 bonus in combat. As he's retreating, the cowardly Nevilles have just jumped on him and forced him back. So he doesn't count as a casualty for the combat. So Robin took 3 casualties. So he's taken a break test, 2d6 -3.
Break if shaken.
Break if shaken. They are not shaken.
And give ground disordered.
Give ground disordered. Okay, so basically, giving ground disordered, he can basically move 1 zone out, which is probably a good thing because it means the Duke of Suffolk escapes, clutching his arm. Okay, so Suffolk has retreated to the road there with 3 casualties on the unit. The unit has a stamina value of 5, I think, or 4 or 5. So they are not shaken yet. And I've chosen Henry Neville's going to hold that position because he's going to be facing down Suffolk's forces that are hiding over there. That is the end of Neville turn 1 and a nice early, I wouldn't say victory, but definitely it's a bit nasty having your commanders so close at the start, but that's part of the this scenario, isn't it? So we are going to go into Suffolk turn 1. Okay, so that's the end of Suffolk turn 1, and it wasn't the greatest.
No, Essex isn't quite coordinated.
No, Essex tried to come on over here to support Suffolk, however, didn't quite get the rolls. And the only unit that has moved on is Fitzwalter here, who's marched on, but hasn't managed to get into a formation. And obviously, I've got these guys here with their bows, and this unit's in column, so they're going to be ripe for the picking next turn, hopefully. Over here, Robin didn't manage to remove the disorder on his small unit of men-at-arms, but Suffolk, where is he? He's behind this tree.
He's gone back to coordinate things.
That's it. Did in the last battle, didn't he spend the whole game behind a tree?
He did spend his whole time hiding in the bush, yes.
And Robin has assaulted Henry Neville with this unit of Bill and Bow. So we're just going to be straight into another combat. So the Bill and Bow have a clash value of 6, and they charge, so they're going to be hitting on 3s. I have a combat value of 7, and I'm going to be hitting on 4s. And 3 hits. I have 7 dice. I get to reroll 1 for tough fighters. That one. 4 hits. No, 5 hits, sorry. So you need 5 saves of 5. So you've taken 4 casualties, and I need 3 saves of 4. And I can reroll 1 for stubborn. So I've taken 2 casualties. Okay, so Robin's unit has taken 4 casualties. I've taken 2. That means I won the combat by 2. So Robin needs a break test, 2d6 - 2. I think you're going to be absolutely fine. Hold ground, yeah?
Yeah, hold ground.
Hold ground, okay. That's the end of Suffolk turn 1, so that unit is no longer disordered. We're going to go into Neville turn 2. That's the end of the command phase of Neville turn 2. As Robin's just pointed out, it's like Freshers Week here in Cambridge. We've got the invading horde coming in, and the locals are forming ranks over here. So just to sort of go through what has happened here, I've kept this unit where they are because they're going to be opening fire on this column in a second. Montague, I'm quite happy holding that centre ground and quite happy keeping Montague there. I don't want to move him too far away from the combat because he's actually quite a beast if I need him, but I also don't want to leave him stranded. It's a bit, we were just saying, it's a bit different than when you just go, oh, I'm going to move this line in and support, because he could be attacked from any angle. That unit I've had to leave in combat. However, what I have done is moved up these 2 columns of men in support. So James Harrington is here now, so once I can get into there, I might start moving John Neville about a little bit, and then over here John Constable has moved up to the crossroads. I once again tried to bring in my crossbows over there because that's where I indicated they were coming in from, and I didn't succeed. So that's it. So we'll go into a shooting phase, and this unit of Bill and Bow are going to open up on this unit of Fitzwalter. Okay, so this unit is going to shoot at Fitzwalter here. So I get 3 dice for shooting. Remember, they're occupying the whole area. They're firing out of it, so they don't suffer a modifier. 3 dice, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1. Oh, re-rolling 1. You have to take a break test for the 6. So you need 2 saves of 5, but you're -1 because they're in columns. You need 2 saves of 6. So 1 casualty and then a break test. 5 on ranged is...
Hold your ground disordered or retreating. Well, I'll hold my ground disordered.
Yeah, hold your ground disordered. Yeah, don't retreat. So hold your ground disordered. Do you want me to turn one of these around?
Yeah.
So the next thing is the combat over there. So that's grinding on. So I won the last round of combat, so I get +1 to my to hit roll. So I get 7 dice, and I'm hitting on 3s. Reroll 1 for Tough Fighter. 4 hits. You get 6 dice hitting on 4s. 3. Okay, so you need 4 saves of 5. Oh dear. Oh dear. So that's 4 casualties, and I need 3 saves of 4. All of them. So I've won the combat by 4. You're now shaken as well, aren't you? You are very shaken. So you need to take a break test, 2d6 minus 2. 4, sorry, 2d6 minus 4. 4 if you're shaken.
That is break if shaken.
Excellent. Right, well, that's the end of Neville turn 2. So we'll go into Suffolk turn 2, and I imagine Robin's going to be trying to bring on a lot of Essex's reinforcements to try and rescue the Duke. Right, so quite a lot happened in that command phase. Robin, do you want to start talking us through it? Where do you want to... Well, should we start? I mean...
Start over there. So, yeah, they were disordered. So,
this unit here,
this small unit of bowmen just coming alongside them.
They're just some, like... What, they're just some foresters or something that are tagging along. Okay.
Essex has rolled up some artillery.
Yes, I did see. I didn't realise that Robin had artillery. So I stupidly just bought all men, thinking, oh, we're going to be in a situation where it's going to be hand to hand. Obviously, I have this unit in here, and there's now a cannon staring at me.
If you can't capture the buildings, you can always flatten them.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be some bits of masonry falling on people.
Montgomery has come.
Oh yes,
straight across the bridge.
Light cavalry have just charged into the yard outside the Griffin.
Edward's official in the area, his constable, he's come to try and
try and sort the situation out. I mean, he's taking his life in his hands, isn't he? Because we've got
carrying the King's justice might only get him so far.
That's it. Well, that's it. I mean, they did refer to John Neville as the King in the North, not Robb Stark. John Neville. So we'll see what's going on. But that's tied me up. You've also got some men across the bridge.
Yeah, Bill and Bo come across the bridge, and then Berners with his small contingent over here.
Oh yes, I've got some handgunners that have turned up to give me hell. And then you've moved.
Yeah, they've just moved back there, trying to regroup behind the. Whilst they're not as such behind the building.
Well, that's it. We're finding things are a bit different because buildings aren't really affecting line of sight because you just get a -1 if you're shooting into these areas anywhere.
A unit anymore.
No, it's just a case of just trying to mash people in there and getting them in. Did you want to move? Essex.
Yes,
he's got a move, so
bring him.
You can pop him. But yeah, so we start with shooting. What do you want to go with first?
Go with the cannon.
I knew you were going to say that.
Cannon.
Take it he's going to fire at this unit here. So they're not within 12 inches, are they? So you're going to get one dice. And oh no, hang on, it's 2-1-1, isn't it?
Yeah.
The dice. So yeah, you're going to get one dice. You're going to be hitting on a 4. No. Okay, that's fine. Do you have any? Oh, you don't have any one of these. Are all in column.
Yeah, they're in column. So
they don't have missiles. So you've got that Bill and Bo unit there.
It's going to be firing into.
Because this is part of Essex's command. Is Berners part of Essex's command?
So yes.
That's that unit of handgunners there. So at that range, they're going to get 2 dice, and they're going to be hitting on 4s. One hit. My saves are pushed back to 5, so 5 or more. No, so I take a. Oh, I can do stubborn, and I'm not in combat this turn, so I might as well use it now. No, I take another casualty. Okay, so casualties are starting to mount up on this unit. The rules that we use is that if you have taken casualties from a handgun unit, you have to take a break test. So whether or not that was because of a 6, it doesn't matter. It's simply because just to show disorder potentially coming in rank. So I need to take a break test, so just 2d6. 9 on range, I think, is they just hold their ground, so they're absolutely fine. So now we go back round to, so that's the end of Essex's shooting. So those Bill and Bo in there, so they are going to be firing. You're going to be -1 to hit. Forgot about that last time, but never mind. So yeah, you're hitting on 5s, re-rolling 1. Oh no, and a 6, so another break test. So 3 saves of 4. And I've used my stubborn already. Oh no! So 3 dead and a break test. I am now 1 over my stamina limit because I've already taken 4 casualties. So I'm 1 over my stamina limit. So I'm -1 to this break test.
No minus.
No minus. Oh no, because it'll be break if shaken or something. So 2d6, a 10 on ranged.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Absolutely fine, okay, but my unit is now shaken and I now drop the excess casualty, so I've taken 6. Okay, that was quite brutal. Okay, so after the shooting, we now need to resolve this combat here in the yard of the Griffin Inn. So Montgomery is leading his light cavalry in there against John Neville. So being a small unit of light cavalry gives them 5 attacks. They get +1 to hit on the charge, so they're hitting on 3s. I have Geoffrey Gate in there of his men-at-arms, which is gives me 7 attacks, re-rolling 1 for tough fighters. But I've also, because I've got John Neville in there and he's a bit of a beast in hand-to-hand combat, he adds 4. So I'm rolling 11 dice, but I get to re-roll 1. However, even if I win the combat, obviously something can still happen to John Neville, which would be terrible at this stage of the game. So, Robin, you need 3s to hit. 3 hits. Okay, I have 11 dice, needing 4s to hit, re-rolling 1. So here's 10 dice. So I'll roll my 11th dice now. I'll use one of these to be my 11th dice. So 6 hits. Now I get to re-roll 1. 7 hits. So you need 7 saves of... Is it light horse save 6? Or is it 5?
Yeah, 6.
Oh dear.
This might have been too bold a plan.
1. So you've taken 6 wounds. I have taken 3. So I need 3 saves of 4. Re-rolling 1 for stubborn. Reroll that. So I've taken 1 casualty, but I now need to see what's happened if something's happened to John Neville. So I roll 2d6 and add his combat value of 4. So 12 or more. I keep on wanting to say this. So, no, yeah, so 7 plus 4. No, he's fine. Just. So I've taken 1 casualty. You took 6 casualties. So you've lost combat by 5. So it's 2d6 minus 5. I think you've run. I think they're gone. I think they've been seen off.
Perhaps wasn't the most tactically aware thing.
Okay, so that's the end of the Suffolk turn. How do you feel?
That was maybe I get carried away because it's cavalry, and I think cavalry should charge.
Well, to be fair, it was the only. I think you did the best thing with them while the road was open.
It's but charging small units with lightly armed men against heavily armoured men.
Yeah,
with pointy sticks maybe isn't the way forward.
Well, we have to see how things go. I mean, I think you've got Suffolk pretty defended. I can't do a lot with that shaken unit over there, so they're a bit stuck. So anyway, we'll go into Neville turn 3, and we'll see what happens next. Okay, so quite a lot happened for the Nevilles. I've held my position over here because I've got this part of the town secure, so I don't really want to jeopardise that. The same thing here with John Neville. I could move him out to go and rally this unit here. They're shaken, so they're not going anywhere, but they are causing a block. Robin's got to remove them. They've done their job. They're holding them off. Also, John Neville is quite protected in here. I could move him back and start moving him towards my lines, but if Robin got lucky and managed to rout one of my units, he could continue on into him. So I think he's actually quite safe in there with all his attacks, and in the centre of the table, he's able to command a lot easier. Over here, the bastard of Falkenberg, he commanded James Harrington to continue marching down the road, but only got one order. What I wanted him to really do was get down the road and smash into these guys coming off the bridge. That didn't happen. John Constable, he's just left on the crossroads, so I can work out what to do with him later. Finally, my crossbow support has come in down the road here. But the main thing, which I think is going to be a bit of a pain for Robin, is all the way across the battlefield. With some amazingly low rolls, he's called in some handgunners on this side and William Parr's bill and bow here. So William Parr has moved into this zone here and will be able to fire into this zone here. They're not actually in column, they're just because they're still occupying that zone. But we're going to have basically some back and forth going on here. So it's all kicking off. We're going to go into shooting, and the first shooting I'm going to do is this unit. I'm sure undisorder your unit for you, sir. And then probably return him. So this unit again is going to fire at Fitzwalter's unit. So I'm going to get +1 to hit because we're within 6 inches. Remember, they're occupying the whole area, not just where the stands are. So it's going to be +1 to hit. Probably should have added that last time, but never mind. And you're in a column, so you're going to get -1. So I've got 3 dice hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1 for marksman. That's 3 hits, and you need to take a break test. 3 saves of 6 because you're in column. Oh dear. 3 casualties and a break test. They're going to hold their ground, so that's you're fine. You're not disordered either, which is a tad annoying. So just 3 more casualties, so you are on 4. So yep, just over there, William Parr's group are going to fire from their zone into that zone there, which is got Lord Berners in it. I'm going to be -1 shooting in there because it counts as built up. So I've got 3 dice hitting on 5s, re-rolling 1. And that's 2 hits. 2 hits, so 2 saves, you get the cover bonus, so 2 saves of 3. And you've got stubborn as well, because it's a man-at-arms unit. 1 casualty. Believe that's all of the shooting. My crossbows and handgunners can't do anything. No, that's it. So that's the end of Neville turn 3. It's a very different game. We're getting through this. So we're going to go over to Suffolk turn 3. Right, so a lot happened in Suffolk turn 3. Robin, do you want to roll through? Where should we start?
Let's start over here. So Berners deciding that unit is almost broken anyway. Let's charge Pars.
Yeah, so we've got a bit of a... I don't know if Berners and Parr got on. We're going to say they didn't.
Not at the moment, they're not.
So we've got a combat over here. Basically, what Robin's banking is he only needs to put one more casualty on his unit for me to keep taking break tests. So he's you've got some handgunners there.
Some bill and bow. So I can hopefully open up that flank, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Who's popped on at the back there?
Just a small unit of bowmen.
So that's the whole Suffolk force
That is
now,
all
isn't
Suffolk now, yeah. Hopefully, though, if I can clear out here, I can then start hedge hopping that way.
Right, okay.
Then over here, just cannon reloaded, and then they've come across the bridge and fanned out along with the small unit of bowmen. And they should be able to pour some fire into the middle.
Pour fire into the middle. Remember, again, this unit is occupying the whole area, not just that. So it's not about drawing line of sight from this to there. This unit can see that side of that zone. Because the road doesn't block line of sight, they can fire into it. And then down here...
Oh, yeah, Suffolk's men-at-arms.
They've charged into that unit. So, again, you just got to think a little bit abstractly here. But this unit basically isn't in a column and has come charging through. We've just left them in that just to show the difference in zones. However, my unit was still in a column, which is going to be nasty.
Yeah, you can look at it as prepared versus unprepared.
Yeah, there we go.
And then over there, just Bill and Bow.
Against Bill and Bow.
Fell off being shot out of...
have moved in. I mean, Fitzwalter's got to do something. And then he's got the Calais veterans right behind him. So yeah, there's quite a lot. So we'll be going into shooting first. What do you want to start with?
Right, let's start with the handgunners, close range.
Against Henry Neville.
Against Henry.
Okay, so you're going to get 2 dice. You're +1 to hit at that range. So you're going to be hitting on 3s.
That's good.
That's both hits. They cap my saves at 5+. So I need 2 saves of 5. I do have the stubborn rule though. Oh, come on. Reroll for stubborn. No, so I've taken another casualty, which means I need to take a break test. And I'm -1 for that casualty. And yeah, so 2d6. So I'd have been taking a break test anyway. So 2d6 -1. A 7.
Hold your ground without penalties.
Hold my ground without penalty. Okay, so they're still shaken. Are you going to have a go with the Bill and Bow unit behind the hedge?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so that's going to be 3 day. I realise I should have probably got a cover save there, but never mind. Nothing's changed. So you're going to get -1 to hit because you're shooting into there. So you're going to be 3 dice hitting on 5s, re-rolling 1.
1 hit.
1 hit. I get 1 save of 3 because it's built up, which is what I forgot about last time. Yep, so they're fine. So they have held their ground. Right, what do you want to fire with next?
So we'll go with the Bill and Bow at close range.
Into them because you can draw a line straight to there. So your +1 to hit you in close range, -1 because it's built up. So 3 dice hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1. Okay. Just the 1 hit. I get 1 save of 3, re-rolling for stubborn. Oh god. Yep, saved. Are you going to do the same now with your little ones? These ones I don't think are at close range, so you're going to be hitting on 5s. Re-rolling 1, yep. Okay, again, 1 save for 3. I've already used stubborn, so I've taken a casualty, the first casualty to fall in Geoffrey Gates' unit. Have you got any other shooting? The cannon can't fire. No, because that one's got to draw direct. Okay, so we're now into the melee phase. Robin, where do you want to start?
We'll start over here with Baron Berners.
Against William Parr.
Yeah.
So you've got men at arms, haven't you? So you've got a clash of 7. You charged, which is a +1, so you're hitting on 3s. That, I mean, effectively, you're ignoring a hedge because they're fighting over a barrier. Well, you're technically in there anyway. I have a clash of 6, and that is it. So you're rolling 7 dice, re-rolling 1. We need 3s to hit. 4 hits. Ooh. I get 6 dice, and I'm looking for 4s. Oh dear. So 1, and I don't get any rerolls. So you need 1 save of 4. You can reroll it for stubborn.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then I need 4 saves of 5. Remember, the cover bonus doesn't count for hand-to-hand combat. 3 casualties. So I've lost to combat by 3. So I'm 2d6 -3 on my break test. Ooh, 9, so 6. Does that give ground?
Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order.
I'm going to retreat in good order because I want to be able to come back. So, yeah, if you could... I'm going to come out to here, please. So I'll retreat out to here. Okay, so which one are you doing next? One on the main street?
Yep.
Okay, so you've got a clash of 5, and because I'm caught in a column, and, well, basically unprepared, I have a clash of 1. So you are hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1 dice.
I don't need to.
You don't need to. So you got 5 hits. I'm hitting on 4s. Oh dear. So I need 5 saves of, and I'm -1 because I'm in a column, so I need 5 saves of 5. James Harrington could be curtains for me here. I got 1 save, so I've taken 4 casualties. So I'm 2d6 minus 4 on my break test. 9 minus 4 is 5. What's 5?
Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order.
I'm going to hold my ground disordered and put my 4 casualties on me. Okay, so still holding just. Do I do this combat here?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Bill and Bo against Bill and Bo, so we both get 6 dice. You're hitting on 3s though, I'm hitting on 4s. Go for it. 4 hits. I'm hitting on 4s. And I get 2 hits. So you need 2 saves of 5.
No.
It's 2 casualties. I need 4 saves of 5. No, so I take 4 casualties as well. So you have become shaken, because they've already taken 2 casualties. I'll sort that in a minute. But I lost to combat by 2, so I'm rolling 2d6 minus 2 for my break test. That's 7. So
hold your ground disordered or retreat.
I'm going to hold my ground disordered. Brutal. So a very, very brutal end to Suffolk turn 3. We're going to go into Neville turn 4, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of movement, because we're basically just going to be looking for the results of these combats, because people are either blocking the way or we're going to be trying to pour men in, although I could move these guys out and around. Anyway, we'll get into it and we'll just see what happens. Right, so there was some movement, and then some indecision from myself. So the Bastard of Falkenberg wanted the Calais veterans to move round here, but they basically didn't, so they stayed there. However, because a lot of my troops were in column, I could still do stuff, so I've sent John Constable north to try and relieve what's going on over here with William Parr, and over here the crossbows managed to come down the road, so hopefully if this unit does break, I can fire some crossbows down there later. Over here, because they were in initiative range, remember if you're within 12 inches of the enemy, or one zone of the enemy in this case, you can just act. You can do one order. So all I did was my handgunners formed a line, so I'm going to be pouring fire into Lord Berners. My real indecision came here with what to do with John Neville. Henry Neville's up here and he's still holding the ground, so he's just going to stay there, to be honest, because he's basically stalling Robin, and until he breaks I don't need to worry about him too much. What I couldn't decide what to do was with James Harrington here. Now, he's disordered and in combat, so I can't really do anything. He can't reform into a fighting line, so he's more or less a goner. What I couldn't decide is whether or not to put John Neville in there to help them and join that combat. Thing is that he might add 4 dice to that combat. Likelihood is I'm going to lose it anyway, because I've already taken 4 casualties. I'm being a bit gamey here, I know this. But as Robin's pointed out, I'm going to do the lordly thing, and I'm just going to watch my men die in my name.
I imagine him just eating something from the
from the lovely market stalls that Robin has made. Yeah, he's just snacking there, watching what's going on, and cursing. But really, I think we just need to see the results of these combats and see how the line is going to change before John actually commits himself. So we'll get into shooting. I'm going to start over there with my handgunners, firing one zone into there. They're going to be -1 to hit because of the cover bonus, but +1 to hit because of the range. So it's going to be needing 4s to hit. That's 2 hits and a break test, yeah.
5s. So it's 2 casualties. You can do 1 stubborn. You can reroll 1 for stubborn.
Yeah.
So, so 1 save, so 1 casualty, and then a break test. Ooh, 5 on shooting. I imagine that.
Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order.
You're going to hold your ground?
No, I'm going to retreat.
Retreat disordered.
No, retreat in good order.
Oh, retreat in good order. My next shooting. Do I have any other shooting? I think that's it.
Yeah,
no, I think that's it. So we're just going into combat. There's no. I think we'll start down here with this one first. I want to see what's going on here. So we've both got 6 dice. You're -1 because you're shaken, but you're +1 because you won the last round of combat. So you're on evens. So you have 6 dice needing 4s. I'm disordered from the last round of combat, so I have 6 dice and I need 5s. Okay, so you're looking for 4s. 3 hits. I am looking for 5s. 2 hits. So you need 2 saves of 5. So 2 casualties, and I need 3 saves of 5. 2 casualties as well. Yeah, that's it. So because the combat is drawn, Robin is taking a break test because he was already shaken. He's 2 casualties over his stamina limit, so he's going to be 2d6 -2. Oh no, I think you're just taking... Oh no, it doesn't count. You don't do excess casualties. I think that's in shooting, so you're just 2d6.
Hold your ground disorder or retreat in good order. I will hold...
I don't think it's cumulative, the shaken and the disorder.
Yeah, so I'll just hold my ground disordered.
Hold your ground disordered. I will turn your flag around. Right, so the final combat is just the awful one in the middle here. So I get 1 dice, and I'm hitting on a 4. Hey, 1 hit. Robin gets 5 dice hitting on 3s because he won the last round of combat, and he gets to reroll 1. Okay, so I need 3 saves of 6 because I'm in a column. Once I've taken 2 casualties, you need 1 save of 4. Of course you made it. So I take 2, I've taken 2 casualties, which means I'm shaken. So I'm 2d6 -2 for my break test. 7 -2 is 5, and I'm shaken.
Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order.
I'm going to hold my ground disordered, so I'm shaken, disordered. Not a lot got resolved in that. There's just dead men everywhere. That is the end of the Neville turn, so I'm just going to add the casualties on, and we'll go into Suffolk turn 4. Don't really know where to start. Let me just do a little flyover of what's happened here. So look, obviously we've got our ongoing combat in the back gardens here, then the combat on the road, and then all of this in here. So in there is the Earl of Essex, the Lord Montague, Lord Berners, some Bill and Bowman, and Geoffrey Gate is in there as well. Over here, well, look, we'll roll through it. Robin, where do you want to start?
So,
why don't we start with where there's less of a rumble?
Yeah, I had some audacious hedge jumping.
Well, you might as well start. So, where did Baron Berners start his move?
He'd fallen back to here after being shot
Over
at
here.
by the handguns.
So, if you remember last turn, the handgunners saw him off to there.
Back to there. Saw a chance, and he rolled.
You needed to roll a 3.
He seized the moment and managed to barrel through. And surprise.
He's done what Neville did in St Albans. He's led a charge through the back gardens and basically he's gone through into that zone there, into that zone there, and into there because he's a blocking line of sight. He doesn't have to front the enemy because essentially he's gone 1, 2 and charged into there. It was a chance in a million, and or whatever the actual odds are. And Robin pulled it off. And then not only that, over here you had a unit of Bill and Bo. Do you remember there was a lot of men here?
They're now here.
They're now all in there. So we've just done some quick maths. And in that courtyard and on that road, there are 102 miniatures.
and that includes a few. Well, I can't remember if that includes the casualties or not, but there's probably going to be a few more casualties going in there as well. So basically, Robin's made a play. All or nothing. So Essex is in that combat. Montague is in that combat. So there could be some dead lords occurring. We could have a repeat of St Albans where I can't remember if Somerset was killed under the sign of the castle inn. So this will be under the sign of the Griffin. I've just realised as well that Montague's livery is a Griffin.
I have a Griffin on Essex's as
Montague's badge is a Griffin. So that's going to be interesting. What about over here? Because Suffolk, because he's seen that things are maybe going his way, has come out from behind a tree.
He's got a much more concerted effort now than the light cavalry just charging in. So he has surrounded this unit here.
Henry Neville.
So that we still haven't gone into combat with them. We're just going to shoot them to bits and then make sure they can't escape.
Well, they can't. That's it. This is the problem.
There's
they can't
nowhere
retreat. The only way they could retreat is into that zone over there, which I think is the only way they can go. But I don't fancy their chances. And then over here, you did roll a blunder, but all it meant was these guys shuffled back.
A bit.
That was it. And the cannon is there, although fortunately the cannon won't be firing this turn, but he'll be there to mop up any survivors. We'll start with shooting, which is over here. Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with the handgunners.
Okay, so the handgunners, they're within 6 inches, so they're +1. Oh no, they're in that zone over there, aren't they? So it's zone into another zone, so you're -1. Oh no, the handgunners are these guys. Alright, so it's 6, so you're hitting on freeze. -1, fours. Oh, I've got to take a break test as well. So you cap my saves at 5+. I can reroll 1 for stubborn. Whee! So they're safe. So now it's your archers.
Archers, so 2 shots.
2 shots and re-rolling 1 miss, hitting on 4s. That's another break test, so 2 saves of 3 because it's built up. And that's fine, but I have to take a break test. 8, I think, is stand my ground. The bill and bow unit, so 3 shots, re-rolling 1, hitting on 4s, +1, -1. Oh god.
That's not a break test.
So 3 saves of 3 again. And I've already used my stubborn, so I've taken 2 casualties. And I need to take a break test anyway, so I'm -2 off of that. So excess casualties count towards ranged attacks, but not in hand-to-hand combat. So 2d6 -2. 3. I think I'm gone. Surely 3?
Yeah.
3 from ranged.
Break if shaken.
Break if shaken. Okay, Henry Neville, he's lasted quite a while. Henry Neville has broken, so I'm going to move out. Do you wish to move in and occupy that zone? Oh, no, you can't.
No,
it's
I can't,
ranged.
It's ranged.
It's ranged. Okay, I'll just get him off the board.
I did.
So there's actually nothing left to fire with, is there? So everything else is just tied up in here. Which combat do you want to start with? Should
Let's do that one there.
The little one. Okay, so we've both got 6 dice. You're -1 for being shaken, so you're hitting on 5s. I've got 6 dice, but I'm +1 because I won the last round of combat, so I'm hitting on 3s. So you have 6 dice hitting on 5s.
Just the 1.
1. I have 6 dice hitting on 3s. 5.
4s, you didn't win the combat, did you?
Oh no, I didn't win the combat. You're right. It was a draw. It's just that because you're already shaken. Yeah. So 5. Oh yeah. So 3 saves of 5. Sorry, it's my terrible counting. Oh no, no.
Yeah, but that means my next roll.
Yeah, it's gonna, and I needed how many saves? 2 saves.
1. Do.
No, it's fine. So it's a draw, and you're shaken.
So I still need to take a break
test. You still need to take a break test, but no modifiers, no. 6? Oh, I think it's going to be hold your ground disordered, isn't it?
Yeah, treating good or...
The thing is, you're plugging that side up.
Yeah, no, I'll stay where I am.
Oh, so that combat rolls on. No casualties either side, though.
So I stay disordered as well.
Yeah, okay, and then I take it we're going to roll on to the big one now. So I think we better just do some...
Maths.
Oh, no, we've got this little one here first.
One
we've got this one on the road, isn't part of it, is
you
it?
can retreat back down.
That's it. So, but I'm still stuck, so I've still just got 1 dice. So I need 1 dice on a 5. I might as well just... Nope. You have 5 dice hitting on 3s. I can reroll 1. That's 3 hits. I need 3 saves of 6. This does sort of speak well as to getting chopped apart. So 2. So I've lost combat by 2. So I'm 2d6 -2. And that's 11 -2. I am shaken though. Okay, so we've worked it out, and as we said at the beginning, only this area and the chapel area can hold enough units to offer supports. So Robin's unit that charged was Lord Berners with his men-at-arms, so you get 7 dice for them. Right. You now also get 2 dice because Essex has joined the combat, and you get 3 dice from your supports. So you're going to have 12 dice? 12 dice, all hitting on 3s because you charged. I have 7 dice for Geoffrey Gate, and I have 4 dice for Lord Montague's. So I have 11 dice to your 12. So you have 12 dice needing 3s to hit. And you get to re-roll 1.
9.
9 hits. And I have 11 dice coming back, and I'm hitting on 4s. So, and now I get to re-roll 1 as well. This is 10 dice. So 6 hits so far. So that's my 11th dice. So 7 hits and 1 re-roll. 7 hits against how many?
9.
Oh, God. I need 9 saves of 4, re-rolling 1 for stubborn. 9 saves of 4, re-rolling 1 for stubborn. Oh!
1.
1. Well, we'll see, because I could still lose my commander. 7 saves of 4.
Re-rolling 1.
Re-rolling 1.
So exactly the same chances.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This was not a high casualty.
1.
So it's a draw.
But you're
No.
more likely to use your commander.
But yeah, but these count towards casualty, so we could lose to combat. So I have to now see if Lord Neville is affected. So I roll 2d6 and add 4. If it's over 12, he's affected somehow. That's 11 plus 4, so it is. I will roll a. Do we want to roll to see if you're affected first? So you're rolling and adding 2. That's 10. So no. See what happens to him. Okay, so that is a, let me just double check, wounded and isolated, which is something that we sort of changed a couple of battles ago, so I've still got to update on the sheet. So basically, he suffers a light wound, and on a 4, 5, or 6, he's captured. So on a, go on, you roll it, 4, 5, or 6. No!
He's captured.
He's captured. You have captured John Neville, and he's wounded. So he goes down to +3. That means that my units under his command only get act on their initiative. And the capturing unit is Lord Berners.
Yeah.
So he's going to go down to a two unit man. Okay, so we'll work all of this out. But I still need to take a break test. Do we? Because he wasn't a casualty. You weren't a casualty. And it was 1-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So no, we don't need to take a break test. That combat's going to grind on. It's just that John Neville's now in custody of Lord Berners. Okay, so just to summarise what's happened here, John Neville, Lord Montague, has been captured by the dastardly East Anglian forces, who have basically knocked him on the head and dragged him out through the pub. We decided it didn't make much sense for him to be sort of stay there. We remember if we said at the start of the battle that if you capture someone you lose a base, well, it makes sense that base would get to move a zone, at least to us. So that they have bundled him out and they are heading over there, which leaves our understrength Lord Berners to basically form a rear guard along with this unit of Bill and Bow and Essex against Geoffrey Gate, but also the fact that you've got the bastard of Falkenberg over here who is trying to move up and assist. So that is the end of Suffolk turn 4. It's still all to play for, and I have no idea what the score is at the minute. And I think it's going to be one of those games where until we get to the end we won't realise. But we will go into Neville turn 5. Right, so it's no less of a mess really with what's going on here. Let's start with the stuff that was organised. These men came down the road. There are a couple of failed orders, well, one failed order from the bastard of Falkenberg, which is I wanted to handgunners to take that zone there. I wanted William Parr to move into that zone and then rolled a double 1 on his command roll, so I really should have pushed to have him go in there and rescue his lord. John Constable moved off of the road here and has moved into this area to act as a support for Geoffrey Gate. So that combat is going to roll on. This thing that's happening in the street is just it's just one of those combats that just needs to end, and we're not entirely until Robin. I'm quite happy for it to contain him for now. This combat again is going to roll on into next turn, but it was a draw. again, or did I win? I can't remember. I think, oh no, I won, and then you got excess. But my Calais veterans moved from over here, but they acted on their drilled ability, which I'd forgotten out before. So Robin has kindly pointed out that they could have moved into that zone before and into that zone next time. So that's where they've gone. There wouldn't have been any difference, and they're ready to fire. But then they're also going to receive some cannon fire, I think, next turn. So we'll go into the Neville shooting phase, and the first thing I'm going to do is fire from this zone. Remember, it's zone to zone. I'm going to fire at the archers that are over there. So these guys at them. I'm -1 to hit. The 6 inches doesn't really come into it when you're doing the zone to zone. So I've got 3 dice, needing 5s to hit. Okay, reroll 1. Oh. 1 hit, 1 save of 4. No, just 1 casualty. Lovely. Handgunners can't, crossbows can't. Just my Calais veterans are going to fire at that unit there.
Yep.
So they're within 6 inches, because it's not a zone to a zone, it's a zone to an open area. They are hitting on 3s, but they don't have marksman. Nope, so 2 saves of 5 and a break test. 1 save and break test. 7. I should think that's hold your ground.
Hold your ground, disorder, or retreat in good order. Can I retreat back to the river?
Would
that be 6?
I think that's about 6 inches to there. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So
I'm against the river and I can't retreat any
right,
further,
so retreat in good order, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do this combat first. There was a draw last time, but Robin had to test anyway because he was shaken. So, I am not disordered or anything, so I get 6 dice hitting on 4s. Robin is shaken, disordered, and it's all gone wrong. It doesn't matter, they're shaken anyway, so it's not cumulative. So, you have 6 dice hitting on 5s, I have 6 dice hitting on 3s. 3. Hitting on 5s. 3 saves of 5 for me. 1, so 2 casualties. 3 saves of 5 for Robin. 2 more casualties.
Instead of break test.
So it's another draw. But Robin was already shaken at the start of the combat. I'm shaking now, so it's another break test, and you were 2 casualties. No, that doesn't matter in close combat. I think that might be it. I think they're broken. However, they are gone, but I can't capitalise on any of this because my unit is now shaken. Okay, so now that's done, we'll do the combat on the road. So I need my 1 dice hitting on a 5. Nope, you get 5 dice hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1. So 4, I need 4 saves of 6. Oh, 2, so 2 casualties, so I'm 2d6 minus 2. I think that's it. I think they've finally gone. They're gone?
If shaken.
They are very, very shaken. So they are gone. So James Harrington didn't really do very much. Got caught, couldn't recover, and he is now gone. Okay, so Robin is elected to have that unit of killer knights just advance down the road, which I'm a bit unhappy about because Falkenberg is there. This is swinging not my way. So we're going to do the big combat in the middle, and I think we're pretty much even. I've still got my unit of men-at-arms who have 7 attacks. They're now supported by John Constable, which gives an additional 3 attacks. They have 10 attacks. Robin has his small men-at-arms unit now because one of the bases is off escorting John Neville away back to his prison. So he's down to 5 attacks, but Essex adds 2, and then his support adds 3, so it's 10. So Robin, who won the last combat, is hitting on 3s. Reroll 1, yeah.
7.
Okay. 7. Like, it's just all of them hitting on 4s. And I can reroll 1. So, yeah, 2,
Same.
4, 6, so 77. So I need 7 saves of 4, rerolling 1. Because you're putting all your attacks into the men-at-arms.
Yeah, it's men-at-arms, isn't it?
I've got Bill of Boat there. So I have lost 3. Oh, and I can reroll 1.
Yeah.
3. I lose 3. So looking for saves of 4.
I lose the combat. I lose 4.
You lose 4.
Me...
You need to. So you've taken 4 casualties, but you need to test for Essex. Oh dear, something's happened to Essex. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So roll a d6 on the chart. 3. He is a heavy wound and isolated. So he loses 1, so he's down to 1, and on a 4, 5, or 6, I've captured him. No, I haven't captured him, but he's taken a heavy wound, so he only adds 1 to the combat now. So that could be disastrous. Remember, if he goes down to 0, he's just dead. So Robin lost the combat by 1 casualty, so he's got to take a break test, 2d6 minus 1. A 7. I think he's going to be holding. I think you're going to be holding whole ground without penalty. The combat carries on. Essex is in a bit of a precarious position, and he can't really extract himself from that. There is no other close combat, and the battle rages on into Suffolk turn 5. Okay, so that is the end of the Suffolk turn 5 command phase. So, Robin, where should we start? I mean, it wasn't a huge deal of movement, but some important repositioning.
Yeah, so Montague's been brought back, hopefully behind the Suffolk
Yeah,
lines.
he's joined. So my commander Montague is over there with Suffolk, who's telling him off or saying, "Look at me, I'm not as poor as you thought I was."
Yeah. Suffolk's men at arms unit have now.
Oh yes, so
through the house.
They've come charging through the house. Now, if this is reality, then this is a pub called the Pickerel. So they've come charging through and
the shaking unit.
They've attacked from behind. You've been repositioning over here to just open up, and then you've put this bill and bow unit over here to just keep an eye on things, just in case.
I don't want someone jumping out of one of these spaces.
And then taking
Suffolk or whatever.
That's it. And then you've got some handgunners that move into that zone. Excellent. So shooting, where do you want to start?
So let's start with the only Suffolk unit shooting is just these bowmen, small unit bowmen just firing over.
Okay, so it's just into another zone that's built up, so it's -1. Remember, the 6 inches don't count from zone to zone, so you're looking for 5s.
And
you get to re-roll 1.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so I need 2 saves of 4, 5 normally, but I'm in built-up area. And I failed both, and I need to take a break test. So that's 2 casualties, a break test, 8 on a break test of shooting. I imagine they're okay. Or they're nearly shaken, actually.
You're fine.
Whole ground disordered, so... whole ground, ground, but 2 more casualties.
Yes, which 5.
Okay, so which unit do you want to shoot with now?
Handgunners.
Handgunners into them. Same thing, you're going to be hitting on 5s. Oh, God. Right, okay. Saves are just 5s. 4s because have been built up, so I suffered 1.
Now it's a -1.
So, so that's 1. And now, I've taken 1 casualty, so 2d6 minus 1. A 4, and I'm shaken.
Retreat disordered.
Retreat disordered. Okay, so they are going to retreat into the lane. The rescue attempt has not gone well. Who's next? Is it down here?
Yeah, so... small unit bowmen just into the...
okay, they're just outside of 6, so you're going to be firing. They're not in a zone, so... oh no, they are in a zone, aren't they?
Yeah,
so it's -1 because it's built up, so 5s. But you get to re-roll 1. No, and the cannon. So it's going to be 1 dice, hitting on a 5. No, and now he is... Hand-to-hand combat, where do you want to start? We've either got the unit of death...
start with the...
So you've got 5 dice. I hate this unit. You've got 5 dice. You charge. You're hitting on 3s.
Oh.
You can re-roll 1.
Just the 2.
Just 2 hits. I have 6 dice, but I'm shaken, so it's -1. So I've got 6 dice, and I am hitting on 5s. 2.
Okay.
So 2 on 2. So you need 2.
I did 1.
Oh, you need 1. Sorry. So you need 2 saves of 4, re-rolling 1. So 1 casualty, so they're shaken now, aren't they? And I need 1 save of not that. So
I'm not shaken yet. I'm on 4.
You're on 4. It's standard 5, isn't it, for a small unit? No, it'd be 4, won't it? Because it's -2, so 6 normally, and then.
They're men at arms. They start at 7. Are they 6 normally?
I think they're 6, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so they're shaken now.
yeah.
So the thing is, you're shaken now, but you're shaken now. I was shaken at the start of the combat, which means I've lost it because it's a draw.
Yes, and you.
So I'm rolling 2d6 straight. 7.
Hold ground. Oh no, sorry, hand. Give ground in good order.
Give ground in good order. So I'm going to be going that way, basically, because you've attacked from here. So I'll be coming into the garden. Oh, that's it. Well, we're just debating. We think that Jeffrey Gates is too involved in his combat. So my unit here is going to get 10 dice hitting on 4s. Robin's unit's going to get 9 dice because Essex has been wounded, hitting on 5s because he's now shaken. But as Robin points out, I don't even think even Jeffrey Gates realised that his lord has been captured and has been taken off somewhere. So Robin, 9 dice hitting on 5s. Rolling 1. Oh, okay. That's a good roll.
That's not too bad, is it? 6.
Okay, 6 hits. I am hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1. So 5. So you need 5 saves of 5 saves of 4. Rerolling 1. Good roll. Oh no! And I need 5 saves of 4. Rerolling 1 as well.
6 for you. 6.
Oh, 6. Reroll 1.
Oh, I've won the combat at least.
1.
I might not have won the combat though, because Essex could get.
That's it. So what's the score at the minute? It's
1-0 to me.
1-0 to you. So you got 2. You caused 1 casualty on me.
And I took none.
And you took none.
But Essex could be.
But Essex could be a casualty. Yep, you're right.
No,
he's not. So you win. So I'm rolling -1. Oh, I think I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine. And the combat grinds on in the centre of the table. But that's it, isn't it? That's the end of your turn. This is my last turn, so I need to make a big play to get Neville back, or capture Essex, or just do something. Alright, so that was my last play for this turn. So, crossbowmen have finally managed to do something. They've moved into this small holding here and they're going to give fire on there. I've charged Robin's unit here, but because it's out in the open, he's going to get to give closing fire. So, Robin, you're going to get 2 shots and it's closing fire. I can't remember if there's a modifier for closing fire. It's just... Yeah.
No, that's not going to do anything.
So they are in combat there, so that's fine. Over at the back, my handgunners moved in to the area there to give fire. I don't think I'm going to be getting Montague back at this rate. Unfortunately, because these guys are shaking and doing nothing, but I'm determined to win this combat in the middle. So the Bastard of Falkenberg has moved to join the combat and hopefully give me loads of dice and not just run in and get his head caved in, which would be terrible if I lose all my commanders.
Crossbow shooting.
Yep, so crossbows to shoot first. They're firing into there, so they're going to get 2 dice and they're hitting on 5s because they're firing into a built-up area. Nope, utter misses. My handgunners at the back firing at the unit there. So 2d6 hitting on 5s. Nope, that's not very good at all. That is all of my shooting. So we'll go into hand-to-hand combat. I will start over here. I want to push this unit into the cam. Should have got a punt or something to push down the river. Okay, so I'm going to get 6 dice hitting on 3s. And I think you get 4 dice, is it? What's the unit of bowmen get normally?
4. So small unit of handgunners is 2, so I'll assume
it's going to be 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So I get 6 dice hitting on 3s. And that's all of them. 6 hits. You get 2 dice hitting on 4, so 1 hit. So you need 6 saves of 5. And I need, 1 save? So 1 save of 5 for me. So I've taken 1 casualty.
I think. Yeah, it's 6 plus save because I'm only.
Oh, you're only bowing yet, so 6s?
No.
No, so 5 casualties. So you lost the combat by 4, so you're 2d6 minus 4 in a break test. 6.
Hold your ground disordered, or hold your ground disordered.
You'll hold your ground disordered.
If I retreat ordered, I will be drowned.
That's it, but you are now shaken as well, and I've taken 1 casualty. Okay, so for the big combat, just to sort of summarise, the Earl of Essex is down to 1 attack dice that he's adding to it, so that's 1 for him, 3 for the unit in support, and 5 for the men-at-arms unit who've downgraded to small because one of their number has taken the Montague off the board. So Robin's rolling 9 dice, but if you remember, he won the last round of combat, so he's hitting on 4s because he's shaken. I have 10 dice. I've got 7 for my unit in the middle, who are still, you know, doing pretty well. They're only at half their casualties. So 7 for them, 3 for my unit in support, and 2 for the bastard of Falkenberg, who's just turned up. So I am rolling 12 dice, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1. So Robbie, do you want to go first? Remember, you get to re-roll 1. 4 for Robin. I get to roll 2 more on this. And I'm looking for 4s. Oh, so let's roll those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I've got 1 reroll. 8. So you need 8 saves of 4. You get to reroll 1. Oh, that's a good roll. So 2. So 2 casualties. I need 4 saves of 4 rerolling 1 as well. So 3, so I take 1, but we've got to roll for our leaders. So the Bastard of Falkenberg has a combat bonus of +2. So 7 plus 2 is 9, he's fine. Essex is +1 now. So no, he's absolutely fine. So I win the combat by 1. So you're rolling 2d6 minus 1. 8. I think you're fine. I think it's just going to rattle on. Okay, so that's that. That is the end of the Neville game, really. So now we're just going to see if Robin can make good on his gains. I've no idea what the scores are at the minute. I know Robin's got 5 victory points because he's got my commander, but there's a lot of shaken units on the board. So we're going to Suffolk, turn 6. Okay, Suffolk turn 6. Robin, what's occurring? What's happened?
Not a massive amount left to move, so all we've done is the handgunners have moved up just to try and drive off Parr's unit.
Yeah, well, they're shaken, so one casualty. Well, the thing is, just a hit from those handgunners will cause me to take a break test.
And the same, these bowmen here.
Yep.
We're going to get rid of these pesky handgunners. Montague is safely there in custody, and then all I've done here is just moved over just to.
You did try and charge me in the flank, didn't you?
I did, but now I'm claiming that I'm trying to just hold the bridge.
No, you're trying to hold the bridge.
And
Wicked.
Then chaos in the middle.
Chaos in the middle.
Unfortunately, these guys over there.
They've done well though. I think they're having a rest. They're having a rest at the beer garden. Although I just wish I had one more round of shooting. But we are only doing a 6-turn game, which has been bloody. There's been a lot of twists and turns. But we'll go straight into shooting. So where do you want to start?
So let's do the bows on the handguns.
Okay, it's just gonna be hitting on 5s.
Rerolling 1.
That's a hit and a break test. So 1 save of 6. No, sorry, 5 because they're in the mid. So that's fine, but they're on a break test.
Here comes a double 1.
Don't do that. That's mean. Right.
6 is
6 is.
Fine, is it?
Yeah.
So right, handguns into.
Okay, so there's no modifier for firing out. So within 6. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There needs to be some rule for handguns blowing
I was going
up.
to say, it's good job there's not a rule for it.
Yeah. And what else do we need?
That's all the shooting.
Yep, the cannon can't see anyone. These guys can't shoot anyone.
Yeah, that's all the shooting.
That's it. So hand to hand. Where do you want to start?
I've only got one combat.
We've got a little one up here.
Let's do that because that's.
Yeah, you want to do this one first? So
Yes.
I'm going to have 6 dice hitting on 3s because I won the combat. You've got 2 dice hitting on 5s because you're shaken.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's as expected.
6 dice hitting on 3s. 3. So you need 3 saves of 6.
Okay.
Alright, it's time for you to leave. It's ridiculous.
That's the second time that's
Ridiculous.
I'm still shaken.
You're still shaken, but it's a draw, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're taking a break test anyway.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you don't deserve that.
Oh no.
Oh, they're fine.
Apparently they
Right.
just don't care.
Okay, so the combat here, nothing's really changed from last turn. Essex gives you 1 dice, your supports give you 3 dice, your men-at-arms give you 5 dice for a total of 9 dice. You lost the last combat, which gives me +1. You're shaken, so you're -1, so you have 9 dice hitting on 5s. I have 12 dice hitting on 3s because I won the last round. So you are looking for 5s. Okay, you get to reroll 1. 4 hits.
I'm looking for freeze. And I get to re-roll 1. So that'll be my re-roll. And then I've got 2 more. So that's all of them.
10.
So 10 hits. 12 hits. How many hits did you get?
4.
4. So I need 4 saves of 4. Re-rolling 1. 1 casualty.
Yeah, take that.
12 saves of 4 for you. Re-rolling 1. Don't forget the re-roll.
Actually. Oh, no, it's... Okay, 3.
Okay, so 3.
So that's a minus 3 to my...
So minus 3, but we've got to work out if there's been any
Yes.
leader casualties. So the Bastard of Falkenberg. Plus 2 is 11, so he's fine. You're rolling... No, Essex is fine as well, unless unit is annihilated, in which case 2d6 minus 3.
Ooh.
Oh dear, that's 3.
Break if shaken.
Break if shaken, which they are. So they're shaken, which means that Essex
Is at risk.
is at risk. So we roll a d6 on the chart, or you roll a d6 rather. Let's see what happens to him. 3, it's another heavy wound, and a chance of him being captured. But as he's already taken 1,
Then
he goes down to 0. So, but on a basically 4, 5, or 6, he's captured, or 1, 2, and 3, he's just cut to ribbons. I've got an Essex. I've got an Essex. So, Essex now belongs to me. That unit is bravely fought, so Burners is dead, and the supports need to take a break test unmodified.
Oh, this could make it.
I think that might be terrible.
Oh no, break if shaken.
Oh, so not if shaken. So
Trait disorder. So actually, you still end up owning
the inn. It's just that there's thousands of dead.
Just that, the clientele might not want to.
Right, we'll get this all swept up, but I think that's actually the final part of the battle. So we'll get this swept up, and then we'll work out points and come back.
I think swept.
Right. So what a game. So brutal. So in the victory point stakes, I destroyed 4 units for 8 points. I've also shaken 2 of Robin's, which puts my total up to 10. And in the last combat of the game, I took out and captured Essex, which gives me a total of 15. Not sure I deserved that, but we shall see. Robin, on the other hand, has destroyed 3 of my units for 6 points, shaken 2 of them for 8, and then captured Montague for 13. We've decided it's so close to call, especially given the leaders have been captured, that we're just going to call it a draw. So my main leader has been caught, and I only caught sort of the minion. He does bring more men in. So clearly, the next game I'm going to be trying to get Montague back. And the only way that's going to be solved is with a siege. There's going to have to be a siege, and we all know why, because I've got a model that I want to use. So the feud will carry on. The Nevilles are going to be trying to get Montague back, and they've got a bargaining chip in the form of Essex. How will they use him? Right, so Robin, how do you think that went? Because obviously this went from us deciding let's have a fight over an inn to let's actually have a bit of a city fight.
I think it works really well. The zone movement means stuff moves around the board quicker, but it's easier. But also, you can really hold ground because unlike when you're in battle lines, if someone falls back, they just fall back 6 inches, and then you can't really capitalise because there's 2 units.
No, whereas here you're pushing someone out of an area and you're taking areas.
My whole attack here was because I moved a unit out of a space and then was able to use that space to flank. Which you wouldn't have room to do when you've got to swing back.
No, you wouldn't have been able to move through.
Not
I mean,
like
I quite like. I mean, I think some people may find this a tad annoying that that units get clogged up, but they do. Alleyways and roadways get choked up with men, and it just turns into carnage.
And it's hard to coordinate. If you want someone to attack from both flanks, it's actually hard to coordinate the movement because you might get stuck in a zone for 2 turns.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I quite like the battle that was going on here on sort of the outskirts because we were both. I was trying to flank around this way. You were coming in presumably to begin with to bring your forces in across here. That didn't work, so you brought around here. I mean, very much at the start of the game, Neville was kind of pushing you back that way, and then you kind of counter attacked this way and started pushing me back. And the fact that you can actually see these zones basically turning, if you like, from red to blue as you go is visually it's very interesting, but also. If we were measuring the whole time, I think it would just drive it a bit nuts, and you'd be arguing about line of sight with the buildings. I think it's much easier to go. It's all built up except for the roads,
or where you're blatantly in the open out here, for example, where you're outside the limits, and then just go with it. I think there's a couple of things we would probably tweak a little bit, but overall I was quite
yeah, and also it wasn't just a grid game because the zones aren't all equal. So there's also an element of you can pick certain routes where you might get somewhere quicker, but then you're going to be outpacing the unit that's trying to support you because they've got more zones to move through.
Exactly.
So it represents a crowded, probably not that crowded anymore, but a clogged up town or carts and that in the way, and
exactly. So
sort of abstracting it.
It's been a lot of fun. So we'll have a little think, and I do intend on doing an update on the little document at some point and adding in other bits. So maybe we'll add in a couple of things about doing street fightings. Of course, there were some, the first Battle of St Albans, big one in a town, and that took place in alleyways and in back gardens. And I think it was actually over in about half an hour, the battle. But it's another way of playing a different type of scenario. Again, not huge armies, especially for a mass battle game, but we only played this on a 6x4, and there was plenty of room. I mean, obviously we had the huge mass combat in the middle, but I haven't seen that in a game before in Cityscape, so that was just a lot of fun to do. Now the citizens of Cambridge are going to be filling the cam over here with all of the bodies that are outside the inn, while the Nevilles go away and decide what they're going to do about getting John Neville back and what they're going to do with Essex. So yeah, well, I hope you guys like that. If you did, then just give the video a like down below. If you want to see more of these, then subscribe. You remember you can find a link down below to the army lists that we used, and then yeah, join us again, hopefully in the not too distant future, when I'm sure we'll be trying to climb up some castle walls. In the meantime, we will see you all again soon. Take care and see you later.